Welcome, Greek U Nation, to episode number 643 of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Mike Ayalon, CEO of Greek University. I'm a speaker and an author. Our ninth book just came out. It's called From Letters to Leaders, The Legacy of Service. So I want you to go and pick up that book on Amazon today. We call these episodes the Fraternity Foodie Podcast because there is nothing like great food to bring college students together. Fun fact, I am so happy that our podcast features incredible and talented resources for college students today. And guess what? It's all available to you for free. You can listen as much as you like. It's the resource that I wish I had when I was in college. So I'm making it for my younger self. I've met hundreds of college student leaders over the last 30 days at various conferences all throughout the United States. And I will tell you that our fraternity and sorority leaders, they are feeling overwhelmed. They are feeling stressed. They are also very tired. You're not getting enough sleep, everybody. So today we have solutions that are going to resonate with all of our listeners, and I am here for it. Anna Resende is a founder of Mama Terra Health Coaching LLC. She is an integrative nutrition health coach certified by the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. With a background in chemical engineering and a successful 25-year tenure in the manufacturing industry, she has honed her expertise in continuous improvement. Throughout her career, she has worked in various plants across Brazil and the United States, but it was her commitment to enhancing people's health and well-being that truly struck a chord within her. Now, as a health coach, Anna can channel her passion for nutrition and a wholesome lifestyle to empower people on their journey towards becoming the best, healthiest versions of themselves. Welcome to the show, Anna.
Oh, thank you so much. That was so sweet. Thank you, Michael, for the invitation.
Yes, you are very welcome. Listen, I'm available to introduce you all over the country. Just pack me away in your suitcase and I'm ready to go.
I love that.
So let's talk a little bit about your book, okay? It's called Living Your Best Life in College. And this book was inspired by a deeply personal experience with your son during his freshman year. What was happening beneath the surface that other people didn't see? And what do you wish that colleges understood better about those early warning signs?
Yeah. So nobody saw it, neither me. But the signs were anxiety was creeping up little by little. And it's really hard to notice that somebody has anxiety, right? So I think those were the first signs. But the first visual signs, I think, was skipping classes and then skipping meals in the dining hall. And everything just got downhill from there, right? So it is really, and I understand that when we go to college, we have classes from 50 to 100 kids. It's not an easy task for teachers to control who is there, who is not, and who's skipping or not. So with that said, I think one little thing that could help those kids in those situations is to have the training, like an onboarding training, so they all understand the pressures and the difficulties and the schedule and everything else, so we can create a culture of positive peer pressure. So one, watching out to each other. Like my son had a roommate, right? And he was the sweetest boy. And actually, I was in contact with him for some situations and it helped. So I think this is what probably can help in those situations, to make this problem really more visible, to have that positive peer pressure, one kid helping each other.
Yeah. I like that a lot, and I understand completely. I mean, when I went to school at the University at Buffalo, there's 30,000 students that go to school at the University at Buffalo, and I remember my freshman class was in a room that's called Knox 20. Anybody who
Hmm.
goes to school to Buffalo has been in that classroom. There's 400 students in that
Yeah,
class.
no kidding.
The 400. I mean, if you think that the professor knew if I was in class or not that day and was going to come and knock on my door and say, Michael, I didn't see you in class today, that was not happening. That was not
Hmm.
happening. Okay.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
happening.
yeah.
So I agree with you. I think that there are roommates, there are fraternity and sorority members, there's other people around that have to notice that something is happening here. This person isn't going to class. This person isn't going to meals, to your point. This person isn't hasn't showered in a week, right?
Hmm.
So there are those little signs that basically say, hey, let's check up on that person. Let's find out what's going on and let's get them to the counseling center on campus if need be, because that's a free resource that you're already paying for with your tuition that's available to all students.
Yeah,
So really good. Now,
yeah.
also, I noticed about your book, it reframes this idea of freshman 15. We've all heard
Hmm.
this, gaining 15 pounds. And by the way, I gained the freshman 15 as well. Going to school in Buffalo, they had these buffalo chicken sandwiches.
Oh my
And
gosh.
oh my gosh, it was so good. You have no idea. I'm eating this like foot long, like hero sub, like buffalo chicken every day because it's that good. And suddenly I realized at the end of my freshman year, I'm like, wow, I've gained 15 pounds. Okay. And your book reframes that as more than just weight. It's actually about habits. It's
Hmm.
about stress. It's about sleep, like we talked about in the intro. It's about mental health. And so, why do you think this phrase, freshman 15, sticks around? And what should we really be paying attention to instead?
Yeah. So I've heard so many people tell me that they actually gained the freshman 15, and that validates my point. But to be honest, I added that in the subtitle as a hook because I think it sticks because at that age, those kids are worried about their looks more than anything else, right? So everybody's checking and comparing them with the others, and some are athletes and whatnot. So the physique is really important for them at the time. So that is why. But what I tell in the book and the message that I convey is that the weight gain is just one visible symptom that we are out of balance. And that's why everything else is more important than that. So the order that I have in the chapters leads them to understand that the weight gain is just part of a whole bigger problem. So the sleep is important, the rest is important, as of course nutrition is important, but stress management and other things. So it is a combination of factors that lead to the weight gain. Is not only food and exercise, as most of them think about health, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, I think they're seeing a lot on social media for sure on their phones as well. So I think when you see, six-pack abs on Instagram and you're looking at that saying, wait a minute, I don't have that. So immediately, I think they're very sensitive to the physical body and keeping up with that image, even though that image might be completely, fictional. It could be, some kind of app that makes it look that way.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it's not really true. And there's been whole campaigns around models that basically show how just the way that they're positioning their body makes it seem like they have those rock hard abs, but in reality, it's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
But that contributes to this whole social media idea.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in fraternities and sororities, the students are actually surrounded by other peers constantly, which is, I think, really good because then that way you do have people that are looking after you in case something goes wrong. But how do you think these organizations can create cultures where checking in on each other feels normal, but not invasive or awkward?
Yeah, yeah. And that is really an issue. That's why I believe the onboarding training is so important because if we train them all together, they will understand that what we want is to create this positive peer pressure culture,
Hmm.
right? And that we need that, and everybody can benefit from it. So that is why I believe that the onboarding training is really key for us to help create this culture. And
Hmm.
it's necessary. We do need to change the culture, and especially when they go to college, because they have this newly found independence. They think they don't need parents anymore. They don't need anybody anymore. They don't want to call us to let us know what's going on, but they need community, they need support, and they need that feeling of belonging. So if we all educate them on how to be well in all the aspects of health, all the dimensions of health, then they will understand that community, belonging, and positive peer pressure, that's all part of creating this environment that they can thrive.
Hmm.
And
I
that
like that
is,
idea of
yeah.
that group onboarding training. I think that's really helpful if they all get that at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
let's give an example. If we could train every student organization, every fraternity and sorority on just one wellness skill, what do you think that would be and why?
Yeah. So I think the most important thing is awareness, is body awareness. When we teach them that every symptom, everything that they feel is just a body sending a message to us, and the message might mean some array of different things. But if they have that body awareness, I think that is the key. Because with no awareness, there is no change. So the awareness is the birthplace of choice. When they are aware that something is not well, then they can make a different choice. For instance, if they pull all-nighter, we know how they love to do that. But then the next day, they notice, they are aware that they are not at their best energy level, they are not at the best of their metabolism, they feel slump, they don't feel well, then they can track that back to, well, lack of sleep makes me feel that way, right? So if I eat a fast food or a hamburger, or I don't know, Taco Bell, they love Taco Bell,
Mhm.
but I know that I feel heavy, I feel weird. It takes me so long to digest that. That body awareness will lead them to think differently and to look for changes. So I think awareness is really key, is really the most important thing that we need to teach them, body
Mhm.
awareness, for creating that willingness to change.
Very helpful. And I also like that you emphasize progress over perfection, right? We don't need to be perfect all the time. But unfortunately, I think student leaders today feel a lot of pressure to have everything all together perfectly, and never make any mistakes. So, talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So, like you mentioned before about social media, I think that is something that came or got maybe stronger with social media, because they see each other, of course, in their best of the positions, in the best of the moments, and they don't realize that everybody is just going through the same struggles. And I think actually the leaders, like the fraternity leaders, or the student leaders, they should be the first ones to model that what we are looking for is progress instead of perfection. And again, the onboarding training can bring that to up front, because when the leaders um, position themselves as just one of them, they are all equal, they are going to the same struggles. When they position themselves as that, so I think the others perceive them better as peers, not as superiors. So, and I think that is really important, that they feel they are all the same. They are all battling their battles, right? Everyone in a different way. But I think the feeling that they are all in the same boat is what helps. And nobody has it all together. That is just so fake on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody's just going through the whole messy transition time in a different way, right?
Yep, we're all just figuring it out day by day. That's all we can do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So the students on college campuses today, I think they have to really confront decisions around alcohol use, around technology use, like the phones,
Hmm.
and also their boundaries as well. So how can students approach these areas in a way that supports, not sabotages their mental health?
Yeah, that is such a great question, Michael, because I don't think most of them know that alcohol has such a huge impact on their mental health. They usually think that alcohol just makes them feel more approachable, more social, like that brings the sense of ease, while the research and all the science proves the opposite, that alcohol just brings us down. After the up, we got to a depressive state. Um, so it is hard to bring this topic at that age, because we all know, we've been there, that we want to experience, we want to try for ourselves all those things. And but again, bringing it back to training, if they are aware of how bad it actually is, I think they can make an informed decision, because it's their choice, right? But if they actually know that no alcohol is okay, and we know that it impacts the development of the brain, it causes all different kinds of brain health problems. So then they can choose. But again, using that positive peer pressure culture, what I envision is like kids being helpful to each other in that matter. Because if we all know, then, for instance, I'm a non-drinker for life, and my whole life I have been standing up for myself on peer pressure, right? Because every time I go out, oh, let's have a drink. No, I don't drink. Okay, why not? No, just one drink. So if it happens with me, and it has happened the whole life, right? We know that it happens with them all the time. But if we create this positive peer pressure environment, one, looking out for each other, then we can change this environment for the good. And I think education and information on this topic is the gateway for changing the societal pattern that we need alcohol to celebrate. We need alcohol to be happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is a very, very hard um, pattern, societal pattern for us to change. But I think it's more necessary than ever right now, just because we are in this a mental health crisis, and our kids, like at a very young age, younger and younger each time, they are getting those depression and anxiety symptoms, and like the attention deficit and autism, all those problems that they are already so overloaded with everything. So at least if we can take alcohol out of the equation, it will be so much better. So I think it's for us as a society, I think we need to find ways to change that culture and make it easier on them to make that transition.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. You talked a lot about alcohol, but the same thing is true about marijuana too. That's being used quite often on college campuses today, I will tell you. But and you talk about depression and anxiety, use of marijuana, the research shows that it actually makes these symptoms even worse
Mm-hmm,
over time. So understand what the risks are, whether we're
mm-hmm,
talking about alcohol or we're talking about marijuana, and also same thing on brain development as well. So your brain is still developing when you're in college, okay? It's usually not going to stop developing until about age
25.
25.
Mm-hmm,
So understand that if you're using marijuana, that is going to have an impact on your brain development.
mm-hmm,
And so I wish almost that we can delay, if not, completely giving it up, but at least delay the use of marijuana until age 25 when your brain is fully formed, because, there's problems there. And so, I think I take the same philosophy as you, which is I just educate on the risk. Ultimately, it's up to the students to decide what they are going to put into their body. And
mm-hmm,
I'm not going to be there on a Tuesday night. You're not going to be there on a Tuesday night.
mm-hmm.
It's something the college student has to decide for themselves. Really good conversation for sure. Now, a lot of college campuses have advisors. There are counselors on college campuses. All of these professionals want to help students, but I think they also worry about overstepping. So, what advice do you have for professionals who want to support student wellness without crossing those boundaries?
Yeah. Yeah, those boundaries do exist indeed. And it's really a fine line, right? Um, but yeah, I don't think it's easy, but I think if we educate them all on the benefits of asking for help, and that is okay to ask for help, and that help might come from a counselor or from a resource from the college. I think that would be helpful. Um, but not thinking about that is the only way counselors and college faculty can help. I think there are so many other things that coming from the organization itself can help. For instance, um, changing the environment. I think it's a not so often thought thing that the colleges can do to help them make better choices, like with nutrition at the dining hall, making healthier options, or positioning pizza on the back of the kitchen, or having fresh ingredients, better options for them to choose from. Vending machines, not having vending machines all around campus with candy bars and soda and monsters because they love monster, but making it easier for them to make good choices. Um, Having water fountains all available all around campus. So the urge to reach for that pop in the vending machine is harder. So just making things easier for them to make the good choices. And I think and I do have this vision of them cooking in campus, because if they do have a small kitchen in the dorms where they can practice their cooking skills and develop their cooking skills, they can have fun with other students cooking and prepping things. We can teach them easy recipes that they can prepare. So if they do have a little bit of resources, like a small kitchen with a little bit of supplies, they can do that. So those environmental things, I think colleges can invest on, and then counselors can advocate for having that available for them. in campus, I think that is like broadens the the ability for them to help,
Yeah.
if you will. Yeah. So we don't need to just think that the only help they can offer is actually counseling. They can do so much more. And then in this way, I think we can change the environment as a whole.
I hope so. You know, what's interesting is your book is often used as a resource in student orientations and advising for students. So, where do you see it best fitting on a college campus? Is it in fraternity and sorority life education? Is it in first year programs for first year students? Or is it in leadership development?
Yeah, I think it can fit in all of those options, but it will best fit in the onboarding training for the first year freshman.
Hmm.
And that is, it's actually what I wrote it for, just to be helpful for them during that transition. So just to bring the awareness for all the things that they need to know before they embark on this solo journey to be by themselves. But I do love the idea to have it to be used as a leadership training, because I think my vision for the future is for all the leaders to have this wellness and health training really solid as a foundation, because I do believe this is the key for success. Instead of having those kids focusing on academics and grades, taking them from the mind and leading from the heart, but knowing the body and embodying those values and things that will move them forward. So I think that is really important. So I would love to see it being used to train leaders. And yeah, those will be thoughtful leaders for the future, right? If they
Hmm.
know all that and they follow all that, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. So, for the student who's listening right now, who is feeling overwhelmed, who's feeling that they are stuck, who's feeling that they are behind everybody else on campus, what is one small step they can take this week in order to move forward and start feeling better?
I would say pause, breathe, and go for a walk. And especially if they can walk in nature. I know some campuses are pretty good on having green spaces and all. Yeah, take a walk in nature, breathe deeply, and give your body a chance to relax. Put your nervous system in the relaxing mode so you can think clearly. Because that is something that most of them don't know, is that when we are stressed out, the blood flow to the brain is seized. So we don't think clearly when we are stressed out. So we need to bring the body to the relaxing mode so we can think clear. Um, and that is what my advice would be. Like, go for a walk, relax yourself, and then clarity will come, so you can go ask for help or talk to somebody you trust and find your way through.
Hmm. I think we have to redefine what success looks like on a college campus because today college students just look at their grades. They have a 4.0 GPA and they have to keep that up, or their title. I am president of the sorority, right? So they define themselves in those terms, but it's time to redefine what success looks like. What does thriving in college actually mean to you?
Yeah, so for me, thriving is when you are in alignment. You are living in alignment with your values and with your what you believe really in life, what you stand for no matter what. So, and this is chapter one of my book, is to so I guide them to actually tap in to what their values are, because I think that is the most important thing, is to live in alignment. And every step you take in your life, if it's in alignment with your values, I think success will come. So you take care of yourself, you take care of your body, and you live in alignment with your values. For me, that is thriving. Because with that wellness, the functional body and the alignment, everything that you put your mind to, you will succeed at. And that is what I ultimately want for the kids to learn in the book is that thriving is not about grades or titles. It's about you living your truth, right?
Hmm. Very well said. Fantastic. I really enjoyed this, and I think that book is a great resource. I do travel around the state of Tennessee. I live in Franklin, Tennessee, very close to Nashville, and occasionally I'll even get to Maryville, Tennessee, where you're at. So I'm wondering, is there a place in town I should go for a great meal next time I'm there?
Oh, that is so nice. I do have a place to recommend to you, and it's Foot Mills Milling Cafe. They have like great salads and great sandwich, very tasty food, soups and stuff. So healthy options.
Yeah.
But they all only open for lunch and it's from 11 to 2. So if you want to grab a bite for dinner, the place that I suggest is actually a brewery, but they have good food.
Okay.
It's a peaceful side brewery. They have grain bowls like super bowls with vegetables and quinoa, and it's very tasty. So
There you go. You can get healthy food at the brewery. You don't even need to
yeah,
buy a beer. Just go and get the healthy food.
that is what I do every time. And they have good music too.
Oh,
What
that's
is
good.
it's another advantage. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go check those places out next time I'm in town. That sounds really fun. All right. So, where can all of our college student listeners go if they want to connect with you and also to go and buy the book? The book is called Living Your Best Life in College. Where should they go?
The book is available on Amazon. It's just type the title and you get there. I am in all social media, so I am in LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. My website is the name of my company, mamaterrahc.com. So mama with double M's. Terra is Terra, HC from healthcoaching.com. But if they search Anna Resende at Instagram, I have all my links there on my link tree so they can find everything.
Fantastic. Very good. Anna spells her name Anna. Last name is Resende. So you can locate her on LinkedIn and make sure you go to Amazon in order to buy the book. It's called Living Your Best Life in College. Anna, thank you so much for sharing all this great information with us today.
Thank you, Michael. My pleasure.
All right. And to our students who are listening, if you learned something today, I want you to share this episode with your fraternity or sorority chapter, your student organization. Just drop a link to the book in a group chat that you're in with other students, or you can just share a link to the book on social media. You never know who's going to need all of this great information today. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. Bye for now.